Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some Bitcoin, liquidity heat maps, and the Sigma coin. So here we are today with a back test for XRP to the range highs that we were expecting here, right? So we've had our impulse off the lows, we've had our kind of breakdown, and then this kind of rounded price action that is played out here for XRP. And zooming in, I'm not quite liking exactly what I'm seeing here just yet, just because this section here is a pretty visible 5-wave move to the downside, right? So we've got ourselves this 5 waves that have come into play here, and it may even have a little bit more to go. But this is definitely something that is starting to look like we might have a larger correction. So the way the count works here is whenever we're seeing that 5-wave move down, the expectation is we're going to be doing a corrective ABC, right? So we're going to see a 5-wave move to the downside. We're going to then move back up probably to right about there, 151, maybe 152, and then one more back test down for an equal move, completing a potential wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for this section right here being a larger wave 1 and wave 2. So that's one option that we have on the table here. Of course, if we have some discrepancy in currency, which could cause deviations below this level, we may in fact be looking at a different setup here. So if we jump over to the XRP market cap chart, and this one shows us that we have our 5-wave initial move, our ABC down, ABC up, and then a 5-wave move down off the lows here. This section here, we actually don't see that they cross, right? So we actually have a higher low here on the market cap. So we'll be monitoring this because there's been some currency strength here in the US, and that could be what's influencing the price change here on XRP versus the market cap, where we don't have that same discrepancy. So we'll be watching and waiting to see how that plays. So now, but let's go to Bitcoin and also watch its price action here. Bitcoin, interestingly enough, has also had its impulse off the lows. It too has done a 5-wave correction, and it's now back above the 21-day moving average, which is this pink line here. But you can see it even came down and back tested the 2021 all-time high again here, and it's been building support, lost it, and now it's back tested, and so far has held support after being resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and a sweep through here before this next run. So if this holds and it ends up being support, then I could expect that you would see a continuation or at least a move back up to 73, maybe even a little bit half of that, 73.4 on this inefficiency breakdown that we got yesterday. So Bitcoin's kind of showing the same thing. The minimum, we're going to at least get a pullback to the upside. So we'll have to see how that ultimately ends up shaking out. Now, XRP, ultimately, we're still bullish on our slant because of the indicator that we have over at the 160 million token gated Discord. But I've also been able to add a 160 million discount to our new indicator that we also have that is optional. That is our XRP Bunny. So signal for XRP Bunny is for those day traders who like to use margin or possibly spot, but they want to be in and out of things. Well, the signal that we got on this so far from this last one gave us anywhere between an 8 to a 13% return on this last move, with a couple sell alerts and buy alerts, but now we're just waiting for new signals. So here's your sneak peek. We're just starting signups now, and we'll be getting people in to utilize this tool through our new indicator. So there's your sneak peek. All right, so now jumping back over to XRP, I wanted to show a fractal view where there's a potential moon math, and we were going over this last night, that if we take the fractal from, this is just for fun, if we take this fractal from back in this section right here, and we overlay it for the speed at which XRP can go, you can actually see that we had a backtest correction right here in the same level for the fractal, right? So it's just kind of like right in that zone. So assuming, let's just make the fun event, this is not what I hope this happens, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be sad. Assuming we have this fast of an impulse back up to the top of the range, war's over, all that other stuff, you would be looking at taking the same fractal here, overlaying it, and we would actually be hitting our $4 targets. We could just mess with it, right? So there would be our 417 target that we're expecting. We would have a supply and an accumulation here on top of this 540, and then we would even potentially hit the $7.90 if we matched the same fractal over here. So just kind of fun that it hit some of the targets that I was expecting, and some of the price action that I was expecting for the XRP. So that's great. Liquidity up to the upside. Come and get it, guys. We're going higher. So now the question is, can we break above this $1.51 region with the liquidity portion of it? And in addition to that, Sigma freaking looking great. We've been continually chopping and setting these higher lows up in this region as absorption is occurring in the community. You can see volumes picking up as well. We even flirted with a 1.06 million last night. We've been since knocked back down to 917 as sell orders have come into place. But we are building this range and the support here on top of it, fighting this resistance area to here. So people obviously being in this $1 million psychological level are selling, and that's where the community will need to step in and absorb, which they already are, any type of sell orders, because this is your discounts that you want. So we would call this vertical accumulation. 4-hour size working on its reset. 12-hour, I believe, is now bouncing. Yep, getting ready to bounce. And our daily is still rolling over. Yep, and finishing its final move. Yet price action go higher. So that's good news. So this resistance pocket is what we're fighting up against. I would easily expect that at minimum, from our current price, we would at least get up to the 618 fib, and that would be from our current price a 190% potential return to get into a rechase zone of this massive supply that would have to be fought through. So that's kind of what I'm expecting at the minimum upside, so another 200%, gorgeous, and we would see a market cap of 2.78 million. So all right, guys, we'll check in tomorrow on everything, but Sigma's leading the way. RSI is almost done on the daily, but the lower time frames are rounding upwards. Liquidity shows upside for XRP at least to our retrace zone. Retrace zone of XRP, moon math for XRP could give us a potential fun adventure by middle of April, early May, which would be wild to see that play out that fast. And then finally, zoomed in XRP would give us a potential 5-wave move to the downside being manifested here, but may not be legit because the market cap didn't. So we will find out together. All right, guys, we will check in tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching.